do you secure what you transport or deliver on your sprinter/cargo van? Today is Wednesday, June 19, 2024. And the reason why I'm doing this segment of the Gig Geezer is because I had a couple of close calls this week. And so I figured, well, having learned my lesson and made application of it today, I'm going to just share with y'all what I think could be helpful to you down the road. Now, if you have not, but for those who have, you're going to usually put things freely into your van, and eventually you're going to figure out you're going to have some means or mechanism by which you're going to secure your freight items, cargo into your van, so that there's not any shifting around, because the shifting around could damage items or worse. There's items that will be palletized and placed into your van by forklift. Now, those palletized items are typically secured one of two ways, or a combination of both. One is by banding, whereby there's these metal or nylon bands that are placed around the product and are clamped together, or placed around a product, and then they may run band through the pallet and then on top and secure it that way. And that's probably a very effective way of doing things. Now, I am no shipping expert, but this is something that I've seen in my experience thus far. The other way is to shrink wrap the products or items in place onto the pallet. And so, what the shrink wrap is, that plastic stuff that you see, or that is wrapped around the item or product or cargo. Now, if it's done really correctly, there's usually shrink wrapping around the base of the pallet, and then it's worked its way up, and the product is held in place that way. Another combination is the items are banded together, and then there's shrink wrapping around them, and that shit ain't going nowhere. But now you have your van, you get the stuff. Either you're gonna have items that you put onto your van, and then you secure it one of several ways. One of them could be through use of bungee cords. I've done that, and it's worked sometimes. And what I've learned to do is not use bungee cords. The other way is that you use the hooks on your van and ratchet straps, and you secure things in place. Now, if it's like containers of paint or other cylindrical products, what you may do is position them in your van, in your cargo area, closer to the wall of the van, and then you run a ratchet strap with a hook on one end across, and then the ratchet strap with a hook on the other end, and then tighten that ratchet strap, and then it's kind of secure up against the wall. I've seen others do that. That's something that I've not done, but that is one way of doing it. But then again, if you have a palletized item, what you may do is use your ratchet straps to secure it in an X, or maybe typically it's in an X. You're gonna use two ratchet straps to secure it in an X and make sure that it's in place that way. Then there's like what I do in my van, and I have a couple of Gig Geezer segments out there. This one about how I put in my E-Track system, and then the other where I mentioned E-Track being one of 10 must-haves with the ownership and operation of your sprinter/cargo van. real quickly, E-track system, you have these tracks of varied lengths. I have 2 tracks that are 8 foot long and then 2 tracks that are a foot long. And then items are first secured by placing a wood bracket like this into the E-track slots, and you have to lift up a tab like this, and then it goes in. You jiggle it in like that. You put one on one side, put one on the other side, and then you put a 2x4 in this area, and that pretty much holds the pallets in place. It serves as a stop for the pallets, or it could be like if you have paint in cylindrical items. You may use your brackets up here and then back near the door to keep them from shifting all over the van. Based on my experience, more than 90% of the stuff that I transport, I have secured by just using the wood brackets. And until this week, that really was almost fail-safe. Now, admittedly, I do have ratchet straps. I have ratchet straps of varied strengths. In fact, I mentioned already about how some folk use their hooks to secure things to their ratchet straps. My strongest strength ratchet straps are the ones that you use hooks. My nominal strength ratchet straps are those that I actually secure into the E-track system. And that's what I have done with these 2 large cylinders of paint product. They were loaded onto the van on a pallet by forklift, and then I used my wood bracket as a stop to keep it from shifting forward, and then I used ratchet straps to secure them in place. What it amounts to is that I wasn't taking any chances. Now, the reason why I'm not taking any chances or not presuming things like that anymore is based on what I experienced this week. I had this pallet. This is the pallet when I picked up from the shipper or the freight forwarding place. As you see, there are 4 drums. Each drum weighs 450 pounds plus. They were secured onto the pallet by 1 circuit of shrink wrap. Now, I have delivered this type of product before, and normally what I've done is I place my wood brackets in the front and in the back of the pallet, and that tends to work. Well, yesterday it didn't work. I had a braking situation whereby I found out that there was a failure of this bracket. As you see here, you see that it is straight on this end, but then it's curved that way on the other end. That is because this bracket may not have been flush into the E-track slot. And so what happened was, when there was a shifting of weight, the gravity pushed this forward and out, and those heavy ass drums that had shifted, or maybe even the wood, whatever caused it to move forward, this is the end result. And I noticed that I had 4 drums that were all the way up here, that had shifted up here. Those drums had actually slid off of the pallet. That's a lot to explain though, but that's exactly what happened. Bottom line again, there was a failure with my bracket. It was not secure apparently. The pallet moved forward, and also the drums moved forward slid off of the pallet. And so I had to, once I got to the freight forwarder, with the help of the forklift operator, we figured out a way to put those back on the pallet and then secure them with another application of shrink wrap. So that's what happened. My recommendation after talking for nearly 10 minutes, and by the way, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. My recommendation is if you definitely have palletized items, because but it can happen with just putting items into your van. But with palletized items, especially when you have heavy items, inspect the shrink wrapping. They may not put another application of shrink wrap, but I recommend that you keep shrink wrap with you. And if that shrink wrap appears to be too thin, break out with your own shrink wrap and put a couple more circuits of shrink wrapping of it, a couple more circuits of shrink wrapping around that item that is on the pallet. What you may want to do is start from the bottom and work your way up. But that may be well worth your while. The other thing is, now this, again, I'm talking of where I'm guilty of. I'm guilty of having, if this is the pallet in between just think of my hands as the wood brackets and the pallet sitting in between them, okay? After yesterday's experience, I have learned that what I may have to do, depending on what it is, secure those items in place with my ratchet straps, which is what I did here with these drums in back, so that if I'm in a braking situation, they ain't moving. So yeah, in my case, a set of 4 of these costs like let's say $25, okay? And one of these failed on me. And it could have been from where I failed to have it secured into one of those E-track slots. Then again, what I noticed on my A-tracks, I've had some difficulty placing these brackets into the E-track slots, and that could be because of certain items that have been placed on them. In fact, I think back to what amounts to as a tool chest, an industrial tool chest that weighed like 1,200 pounds, was placed into this van. But what I noticed is that a number of my slots, my E-track slots, were affected by it. Somehow they were mashed down, and it's made it difficult for some of these to fit in properly. And so what I've had to do was find the slots in which these are secured in without any issue. So what I'm going to have to do is, since I have some spare rails, some spare 8-foot rails, and what I'm going to have to do is buy some additional screws and another 8-foot slab of wood. Because my E-track sits on 2 slabs of plywood. So what I'm going to have to do is lift up that first slab, replace that slab, and then drill in my replacement E-track rails, and I'm going to have to buy another set of brackets. So altogether, it's probably going to cost me, I want to say, in the neighborhood of $50 to replace everything. That includes the screws and the brackets and the wood. Initially, again, the E-track system that I bought, along with the ratchet straps and all, that was about $400. It may cost like $450 to $500 now, given inflation. But how you invest yourself will pay off down the road. You may not like putting out the money now, but that's an investment into your business and into your future. And by the way, it's also a tax write-off. I just want to talk quickly about what are you doing to secure your items in your van. One other thing. Now, I understand that some people prefer to use the hooks. They feel that that's easier, less expensive, because all they're doing is buying ratchet straps. It's more money involved to buy an E-Track system, because it's about $400 if you're going to do it right. It's going to be $400-$500 to do it right with an E-Track system. But I will say this much: if you do brokered opportunities, or even if you do stuff for a carrier, they will ask if you have E-Track system. And if you don't have E-Track system, you may not get that load. So, and then again, some want to see pictures of that freight being secured in your van, how it's being secured in your van. And so, if you don't have it, that may be the last time you do it. So, that's all I have to share for this segment of the Gig Geezer. If you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button. Give my content a thumbs up. Share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm in Wood Lane. As always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.